Uh, Well, here comes the part of the season where all what you work for and all the moves and things like actually come to play. How do you feel for this stage?
I'm excited. I know we had a bit of a rough week last week, but before that we've been outstanding. We've only lost twice in 17, so I like when we get our guys healthy and get us on the field. I think we can compete with anyone in our league.
A couple of minutes ago, Hector told us that he's really confident that he's going to stay here for a long period of time. And I will ask you, are you as confident as he seems to be?
I'm glad he's confident. I mean, I know he wants to be here. For us, this is an important time of the season for everybody. The performance and how guys perform here down the stretch is going to make help us with a lot of decisions we have to make. But we know what Hector can do to our club and what a good soccer player he is. We're looking forward to see what he can do in the playoffs for us.
You mentioned last week being a bit rough, but you guys, compared to last year, it's been a lot of injuries. There has been some injuries. Guys have missed time, but still the team is right where it was last season.
It is. Identical 51 points, right? But, unfortunately the West is really tough this year. Last year that was a fourth place finish. This year it could be as low as eighth. So, for us, we still have a lot to play for. I don't think anyone here wants to use injuries as an excuse. I think you've seen a guy like Sebastian Kowalczyk step in and play fantastic for us. At times when Daniel Stairs had to step in. So we've had different guys step up and perform for us, and we're excited to see where the playoffs take us.
Pat, can you talk about the event tonight? You're familiar with the club, so Dynamo Cherries is not new to you, but can you speak on?
Yeah, this is a new one for Val, who works in the front office. This is a good experience for everybody. I think it's nice for the two teams to get together. So it's an exciting moment for us, and we have ownership in town too. So I made sure I was dressed nicely.
Yeah. And then let me ask you some on-the-pitch questions.
Yeah.
The first one, and this is a good problem to have, injuries, and then you have players on the wing, probably plethora of players. You got Exxon, work in Dynamo 2, who's a Dynamo player now. Quiñones, hopefully next year, back in strong. You got Aliyu on the left.
Yep.
Talk about the depth in that position, and
if we get
them problem in the future.
If we get them all healthy at once, it is a good problem to have. We're excited about each one of them. I think while they're both all wingers who like to get behind and they'll stretch the defense. All four of them have different qualities. Some of them are better defensively than others. Some are able to create goals on their own, one-on-one. Like an Ollie, who unfortunately is out for a bit, but. I think we're excited to see where these guys go. It's a young stable of guys that have a lot of speed. Our league is very athletic, so we're excited to get them healthy and get them on the field, and hopefully they can perform for us.
And then my last question, explain to me and the fan base, maybe I'm simplifying it a little bit too much.
That's good for me too.
Hector's contract, option.
Yeah. We have 15 players that we have options on this year, so I know Hector's a big one. But we'll have to make decisions. Some of those will be based on performance, some will be based on cap situations. But in all fairness to all 15, 14 other players outside of Hector, we've told them that we're not going to make any decisions until the season's over. Then at that stage, we'll sit down with each individual and we'll discuss their future with the club or non-future with the club. But there's tough decisions, but this is the reality. This is what happens every year. And the more successful you are, sometimes the tougher decisions that you have to make.
So that presents an opportunity for a possible turnover on the team. You got a good opportunity to scout this weekend, Chivas and America in NRG. Are you going to be present at the game?
On that one, I actually will not be. I will be out of town somewhere else, so I will not, unfortunately, be able to make it.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
We're good?
All right.
So how much pride do you take in another great defensive season so far?
Sure.
Versus that last game, maybe what normally Dynamo does.
Sure,
But
sure.
how much pride do you take in this?
Yeah, I mean, the season on the whole so far has been very, very good, as you say. A team effort, a lot of guys doing a lot of work in front of me. And we're a good team. We're difficult to score on, we're difficult to break down. So, standing here now with the playoffs on the horizon, we're in a really good spot.
How much do you talk to your defense? Back in the old days, normally the goalkeeper will listen to him shouting
Sure,
all the time.
sure.
How much do you communicate vocally with your defense?
Well, there's not a lot of you can't hear because of the crowd normally, but a lot of it's done proactively. So when you're saying communication, I'm communicating. If you ever come to our training, I'm talking all the time.
Yeah.
So it's a big part of the game, and I think it's a big part of why, as a veteran team, we're having a lot of success.
Hey Steve, your coach said how you have tag you guys road warriors. Look at the number of
Sure,
games you guys
sure.
have won on the road. Most often than not, they talk about what the home team gonna do without talking about what you guys can do together.
Sure.
When you look at this season,
Yeah.
what stands out for you with this team?
I mean, I think that you alluded to it there, that like we're a little bit underlooked, I think, at times, and that's okay for us. What I think that this group, this team so far, that what I see most importantly is that we haven't hit our best game yet, and that's great news coming into the playoffs. Now, it's on us to find it, to be our best. We've had a good season, but I think we have another gear, another level. So I'm really looking forward to finding that in the next month.
The defensive quality of this team, I don't think is being highlighted enough. There are some instances Benitez highlighted that also you guys are pretty damn good defensive. How does that make you feel when you hear your coach talk about what those back four do and what you as the last line of defense do on game days?
I mean, it's like I said, I have a great seat in the house to watch everyone work, and it's a great view, and I'm really I'm really blessed to play in front of those guys, and I like to make saves. I like to perform, Sammy. You know what I mean? So I feel good. I got more in the tank for sure.
Appreciate that.
Steve, I got one.
Sure.
Talk about the growth and development that Mikael has gone through
Sure.
this season. You've seen him
Yes. Yes.
communicate throughout
Yeah.
games. Can you speak on that?
Of course. I mean, again, just a player who's really blossomed, as you can see, and an amazing central defender. One who I think needs to get more credit throughout the MLS media community.
I believe that I put an effort in. It's a natural effort for me because I think that I naturally have a very, very good aesthetic and feel about what's good and what's bad. And I've already said to some of my teammates what to wear tonight and all these things. So I'm trying to be influential, and hopefully they have listened.
Speaking about being influential and all, how you lead this team, especially on a defensive side. How do you feel what the defense has done so far in this season? And everybody talking about Dynamo's defense.
No, I think it's been very, very good. Another year, another great defense. Everyone has stepped up again. I think we have around the fourth best in the league and maybe the second or third best in our conference. And we had a little bit of a 3-0 loss, which hurt, especially when we know that we have so many clean sheets and normally don't concede. But in general, we've been very, very strong, and that has led us to the position that we are in now, where we can hopefully do the business that we need to do in order to get that top 7 position.
Erik, talk about the event tonight here in the stadium. Do they do these type of charity events back in Europe, or?
Not as big as this. I think it's a nice thing where we all come together, and there's a background associated charity is the main theme, and we enjoyed being together with the Dash and with all the respective others that also has a lot of kind of influence on our careers. Unfortunately, my wife can't be here today because our kids, we couldn't find a babysitter. So, but I just like to all the other ones that are at home and always helps all us players. It's also kind of appreciation, I would say, for them that they are so important for us to be able to play soccer.
And then speaking of not finding a babysitter, a lot of fans can relate. I've noticed that over the past few weeks, your relationship with the fans has grown even stronger. Celebrate with them after the game, sing with them in the Hustle Town supporter. What does that support mean to you? And just an invitation to the fan base to come out and support this final push.
Now, for me, it's alpha omega for us. We're building a culture that has been built the last 2 seasons, and this is kind of the hopefully culmination. The LA Galaxy game at home has to be that culmination of all the work that we've put in with the fans and everyone that works around the Dynamo. We want to see that. We want to see that kind of come together, and then from there on, just push us into the playoff, because that's football. We play for the fans, and the fans plays with us. So that's the 12th man, and I cannot kind of underline it enough that it's so important.
And my last question, Ben and Pat Onstad have talked about your leadership, and whether you want it or not, you've mentored Mikael and Ethan Bartlow. Can you talk about that role and the progression or growth that you've seen by both of those players in this season?
It's something that I cherish that role a lot. It's something that I've always hoped for in my kind of early days, that I would be that guy that someone could get inspired by and I could help them out, and I do as much as I can, but more I also kind of work with myself so much, so I hope that I'm a good influence to them, that I go through all my games, I do all the small things that needs to be done, even though that I'm 33. It's the detail that matters when you play at this high level, and I think Bartlo and Mikael knows that for sure right now, and I'm just happy that especially Mikael has grown that much, and with Ethan, the last performance, even though we conceded 3 goals, I thought he was man of the match, and it just shows the quality that we have in the defense.
Finally, speaking about the playoffs, playing in Europe, where you normally, if you earn more points, you're the winner. How do you adapt to this part of the season, knowing that it's kind of different from what you were used to playing in Europe?
I'm happy that I had last season to kind of grow into this kind of playoff system, and I think it's growing on me too. It means that whatever form you're in when the playoff starts kind of decides where you're going to win or not. So I think that's key, knowing that it's right now, that all the small things, as we talked about, all the small details comes together, because it's going to be decided right now, and having kind of a hot streak coming in, that's why that game at home is a massive thing for us. We got to win, we need to get the crowd going, and then we go into the push, and hopefully with a trophy.
Have this kind of engagement with your team and also helping the community.
Yeah, I just think it's a great representation of the club and the direction that we're trying to head as an entire organization. I think it's super special for, once again, the club and supporting the community and also taking reflection on the entire year.
Well, speaking about the entire year, right now it's like a pause before the storm and all the things that are coming. How do you handle these days and just trying to focus for what is coming?
Yeah, no, I think it's a great little rest for everybody mentally and physically, and I think this is a great opportunity to kind of celebrate part of the season and understand that we got a lot of work still to do.
Any fun prizes that involve Griffin Dorsey tonight that we can bid on?
I'm not sure. That's a Valerie question. That's a Valerie question.
And then just reflect on the season so far. That's what we're doing tonight with some of these awards, but just reflect on the season and what's coming up ahead.
Yeah, I think it's just exciting. We have, a good final push ahead of us, and that's really where our minds are at. And I think that this is just a great opportunity to look at how the beginning portion of the year went for us.
Thank you, Griffin.
Thank you, appreciate it, man. Héctor, otra vez esta noche tan especial que reúne al equipo por una buena causa. ¿Qué tanto la disfrutan y si te crees favorito para ganar el mejor vestido de la temporada?
Sí, yo creo que es un evento para pasarlo bien, que los fans o los adeptos lo pasen bien. Y no sé, la verdad que no me importa mucho si lo gano o no. Creo que cada uno tiene su estilo, sus gustos diferentes, y lo importante acá es que lo disfruten.
¿Cómo vas en tu recuperación? ¿Tienes una fecha estimada o estarás listo para postemporada? No importa si es wild card o después, ¿cómo vas?
Estoy muy bien, me estoy sintiendo mucho mejor y bueno, esperemos que pronto pueda estar.
Te debe importar un poquito porque nos dijeron que están rifando un barbecue en tu casa.
¿Un barbecue en mi casa?
No,
Tienen que pagar caro para ir a un barbecue en mi casa.
No, y una invitación que la hagas a la afición, que los venga a apoyar, que son el referente de este equipo, qué significa el apoyo de la afición para ustedes como equipo.
Yo siempre lo he dicho que en un equipo y sobre todo en y en la ciudad, ellos son una de las partes más importantes para que el equipo sienta el apoyo y pueda sacar buenos resultados, ¿no? Estando en casa creo que necesitamos de ellos y los esperemos contar con ellos el último partido y sobre todo en el playoff.
Héctor, perdón.
Y en tu evaluación de esta temporada, mucho sub y baja, ¿cómo se encuentra el plantel y para qué está este Dynamo del 2024?
Estamos bien, el equipo está bien como todos, ¿no? Tenemos altibajos, pero el equipo está metido, está concentrado, está enfocado en lo que quiere y creo que eso es lo más importante, ¿no? Para nosotros el gran objetivo es la Copa y bueno, daremos todo por poder traerla.
Gracias, Hector.
Todavía nos comentaba la directiva que se acerca la etapa de la opción de tu contrato. Obviamente se tendrá que platicar eso, pero de tu lado, Houston es el lugar donde quieres seguir, quieres estar.
Sí, yo creo que todo el mundo lo sabe, ¿no? Y la directiva también. Realmente no es algo que me tenga preocupado, me tenga estresado, ¿no? Confío en que seguiré muchos años acá y como lo he dicho, que pueda lograr muchas cosas importantes con el club, que eso es lo más importante al final.
Este fin de semana y en los próximos días se le rendirá una especie de homenaje de selección a Andrés Guardado. Tantos años que estuviste con él, ¿qué significa él para el fútbol mexicano?
Es un referente, un ícono del fútbol mexicano y bueno, yo tengo la fortuna de poder decir que fui compañero de él y amigo muchos años y la verdad que me parece muy lindo que empiecen a hacer reconocimientos de ese estilo porque creo que hay jugadores muy importantes en el fútbol mexicano que nunca se les dio la importancia que merecen, ¿no? Y creo que es un gran reconocimiento al trabajo y la trayectoria que tiene como futbolista, ¿no?
Ok. Artur, antes que nada, gracias por platicar un rato con nosotros. Ya te has ido acostumbrando a estas noches que son una especie de celebración, también ayudar a la comunidad, une al grupo. ¿Cuáles son tus expectativas esta noche?
Buenas noches, muy grande, ¿no? Es siempre bueno estar con el equipo y nos juntar y hablar un poquito de cosas diferentes también. Y entonces estamos muy ansiosos de estar acá en la noche.
Artur, es esta pausa que les permite separarse un poco de lo que ha sido la temporada, prepararse para cerrar y lo que sigue, ¿no? Que sabemos que es la etapa más emocionante, pero también más difícil. ¿Cómo aprovechas estos días, estas pausas?
Muy bueno, ¿no? A veces la temporada es un poco larga y puede ser un poco cansativo, entonces es bueno tener también un escape, ¿no? Y poder disfrutar de otras cosas, hablar de otras cosas para cuando llegue el momento de competir, para tener la energía lista ya para dejar todo.
¿Qué tanto, porque hoy también se premia o se suele premiar la vestimenta fuera de la cancha, ¿qué tanto piensas en lo que te vas a poner el día que vienes a un juego? ¿Para ti es importante o no lo es tanto?
Bueno, para mí personalmente no mucho, pero me gusta estar bien vestido y todo, pero no pongo mucha energía en la vestimenta, pero me gusta ver a la gente bien vestida, entonces yo creo que es muy bueno.
Buenas noches, Artur.
Buenas
Un
noches.
poquito de reflexión en la temporada que han tenido, sub y baja. ¿Cómo se encuentra el plantel ahora y cuál es el pensamiento mientras acaban la temporada y van a buscar la Copa en los playoffs?
Buenas noches. Yo creo que estamos concentrados, sabemos que la temporada es difícil, nunca tuvo partido fácil y especialmente el último partido va a ser contra un buen equipo. Yo creo que el equipo está bien enfocado y sabemos que tenemos que seguir empujando para dejar todo y terminar el año de la mejor manera posible.
Este último mes ha sido sub y baja. ¿Cómo lo maneja el plantel y usted como líder en la media cancha, tratando de sacar los 3 puntos en cada partido, pero no se les da? ¿Cómo lo manejan o cuál es la mentalidad?
Bueno, yo creo que esa cuestión siempre tenemos un buen vestuario y los compañeros siempre saben cómo empujar y exigir uno al otro, entonces sabemos que cuando nos jugamos un buen partido y como estamos abajo y arriba, sabemos que no es la situación que queremos estar, entonces estamos siempre hablando de eso, cómo seguir empujando para estar mejor. Este es nuestro segundo año, entonces yo creo que los equipos nos respetan más y nos hace un poquito más difícil también y el equipo va siempre mejorando y este año tuvimos muchas lesiones, muchos jugadores nuevos, entonces también sabemos que el equipo va aprendiendo y va quedando más experiente y siempre hay años más difíciles que otros.
Y hablando de aprender, le quisiera preguntar por 2 compañeros suyos. Nadie puede reemplazar a Hector, pero Coco lo intentó jugando en su posición 2 semanas. Quería saber su opinión, la evaluación de esa química entre ustedes. Y Brooklyn Reigns acaba de empezar un partido todos los 90 minutos, muchacho muy joven, pero que tiene líderes como usted que le pueden enseñar. Su evaluación de esos dos jugadores últimamente.
Para mí muy bueno, como dijiste, ¿no? Es difícil reemplazar a Hector, pero Coco y Brooklyn son muy buenos jugadores que tienen mucho potencial y nos ayudan siempre, ¿no? Coco siempre viene jugando y nos ayuda mucho, y Brooklyn nosotros siempre creímos que él tiene un gran potencial y nos va a ayudar bastante. Y bueno, es difícil estar siempre con compañeros diferentes, especialmente con características diferentes, ¿no? Pero ellos cuando están ahí siempre lo hacen un buen trabajo. Yo intento adaptarme y para estar listo para ayudarlos como necesitan. Pero yo creo que cuando lo necesitamos, ellos dos estaban listos y hicieron bien.
Perfecto. Y la última, quiero que por favor le haga una invitación a la afición que venga a apoyarlos para terminar el año y en los playoffs.
Claro, la afición es muy importante para nosotros y estamos contando con ellos y su fuerza para que nos empuje en ese último partido de los playoffs, porque nos hace jugar mejor, nos da más energía, y nosotros también cuando siempre pensamos en ellos sabemos que también nos da un poco más de fuerza para dejar a todos orgullosos. Entonces espero que todos vengan y nos empujen ese partido.
Gracias, Artur.
Muchas gracias.
Artur, ¿quién es el más elegante del equipo? ¿Quién se viste mejor el día de los partidos?
Hay muchos, hay una par que se visten bien. Yo creo que el Hector se viste bien, a mí también. Hay uno bueno, el Griff también. Es bueno.
Son los tres mejores. Va.
Sí.
Gracias, Artur.
Nada,
Qué amable.
muchas gracias.